Hi, we're going to talk about just the simple bookkeeping system. And so I want to, first thing you want to find in your kit is your customer profile. When do you use this? You use this for anybody who you get together with an appointment. Why do you use this? For two reasons. Number one, it will help you figure out a couple of things about their skin. Pardon me. And number two, it's going to be part of your bookkeeping system. So when I say bookkeeping system, I'm talking about super simple here. And so don't fret and steam. You're going to realize that you can run a six-figure business with what I'm going to show you here in about 10 minutes. Okay, so what's important about this piece of paper is that everybody fills one out. Why? Because you want to get their name, the date, their address, their postal code so you can read it, their cell phone number. Oh, 1 minute. Always interesting, huh? All right. So their cell phone number, if they don't use cell phone, if they're not texting, then their phone number. I don't need their wedding anniversary, so I want to get their Facebook number. And they can put their work number, provided they can take a call. Otherwise, I do not need their work number. And I want to make sure I can completely read their email address, because sometimes people have lowercase things there and all that kind of jazz. So you want to make sure this information you need to absolutely be sure that you can read. So when they fill it out, you got to look. The number one thing you want to do with this card is make sure that you look at it so you understand and have this information. This is how you contact them in the future. And their birth date, you don't need their year, and the day. And so which is the best way to contact them? They can fill that out if they want. What's the best time of day? They can fill that out if they want. The next section, I just put a line through it. I put a line through number 7. If you want to leave that open, you can. They will check off things along here. Do I really, I'm not super concerned about that. I said number 2 is actually question number 3. Why do I want to know this? Because this is the only thing I actually need to know in order to do their appointment. I hope I'm not shaking my hand. Is it maybe too shaky there? I'll just put this on here so maybe you can read it better. Okay, they change these every once in a while. So all the thing that you want to know is the one statement, what best closely describes their skin type. Do they have dry skin, normal skin, combination, or oily skin? If you took the first letter of D, dry, and the first letter of N, so when we talk about these two people, the skincare that they use is always DN. So we just dry normal. So this is how we, I'll show you how we shortcut it, abbreviate it. So anytime I'm talking about somebody using which skincare program, I just put DN or CO, the first letters. Okay, so what was the one number question you had to ask? If they were to wash their skin and didn't put anything on it, would they have oil on their skin, and how long would it take to get there? So if they say, well, I'm oily or shiny right after that, well, you know they've got combination oily skin. If they've got a lot of breakout, they've probably got combination oily skin. If they're dry, they say they can't live without moisturizer. And these people, the normal people, they just don't seem to know anything about their skin because it's normal. These people's skin looks more like a peach, the outside of a peach, you know, soft and smooth. These people, the combination oily people, their skin looks more like an outside of an orange because you can see the pores. So if you can see a lot of pores on somebody's face, or you see a lot of blackheads on somebody's face, they've got combination oily skin. That's what you need to figure out, because you've got to get them on the right skincare program. So they can complete this. Don't worry about what the answers are. The great part of the back, when you flip this, it is sort of like the Coles Notes version, and it's got all the answers, and it says to whatever they put a check mark, that's the type of product they would use. However, I have learned over time that actually you can get fooled on this, and particularly this question number 2, I just don't put any faith in that whatsoever. And down here on the foundations, I don't put any faith there either, because they just don't know these things. This is made for a makeup artist to figure out, but what we really want to know is, do they have dry, normal skin? Because then they use the cleanser and moisturizer that came in the box, or do they have combination in your showcase, or do they have combination oily skin? And if you don't have a full-size tube of that, then you're going to use those little packages to let them try the skincare. That's what you really need to know on here. So you want this information. You'll notice there's 2 copies of this. I'll show you how to file those after you've had an appointment with somebody in a minute. Okay, the second piece of paper that you're going to use is a sales receipt. Why are you going to use that? Because some people are going to purchase from you. Is everybody going to purchase from you? No. You know, the one thing I think I should try and teach you here right now is expectations. That's where everybody gets frustrated in life, because they have expectations what other people should do. The only thing you can do is ask other people to try the product, get together with you, and everything that happens after that is just going to be based on their choices. And you're not responsible for their choices, and you're going to give them information so they can make a better choice about whether they want to purchase our product or not. But, you know, everybody gets hung up on somebody said no, and they can say yes, they can say no, it doesn't matter. There's more people out there, and, you know, it's like everything in life. We can't tell other people what to do. And so I just think that if you can control your expectations, you can do fabulously well in Mary Kay. I think where things go south are when people get expectations, they think that so-and-so's coming and she's your friend and therefore she should buy and she should do this and then she should have a party and then she should do this. Skip it. They're not necessarily going to think like that. They're going to think the way they want to think, and how they want to think is how they want to think. My best girlfriend never tried the product for over a year. She wouldn't do it. So... you know, wars are not fought and won over Mary Kay skincare. Friendships are not, friendships are begun, but we don't want to lose friendships over Mary Kay. So let's just give everybody the opportunity. Let's keep our judgments and expectations to whatever they choose is their business, and it has nothing to do with us. It's not a statement about us. It's not a statement about Mary Kay. It's a statement about them. And so some people are going to purchase and some people are not. And the people that want to purchase, I say pick up a slip and put your name on it. And they don't have to date it, but I want to date it. Just make sure on this slip, because I already have all of her information. Why would I make her rewrite everything? Ridiculous. So I just say put your contact number on here. Your cell, please, because I'm going to be texting you to check on your progress. Okay, so I'm going to just walk you through this here right now like I was the customer. I'm going to pretend I'm Gayleen, and I'm talking to Barb Starr. Barb, if there's anything you want to start today with, I have the little receipt here. You can just pick that up. If you want to purchase anything today, just put your name on there and your cell phone number. And if you know what it is you want, you can write it down. If you want me to write it down for you, whatever. So if she does not pick that piece of paper up, guess what? She's not purchasing probably today. Now, is that always the case? No. I've run into people who aren't able to fill this out on their own. There could be a language issue. There could be an issue with they can't do that. So I always check and if they just pick it up, then I say, did you want to fill it out or did you want me to? And that works great. Okay, so you've got her pertinent information. What did she purchase? So how many, number one, the quantity, 1. What was it? Time-wise set, day, night. Remember I talked about over here, we need to know what kind of formula to give them. Day, night, why would you put that on there? Day, night. Dry, normal. Why would you put that on there? Because when she comes back to reorder and she says, I need a cleanser, and she didn't tell you what kind it was, you don't have to phone her back. All you need to do is go under her receipt and just look what kind of formula she was on, and just then you know if she wants a cleanser, she needs the dry normal one. The CC cream, what color is it? Just don't write CC cream, because then you don't know what color. If she says I need a CC cream, it's more professional if you write it down and then you can just look in your own files versus having to call somebody back and ask them a question like that. You put the price, because with the set she could have one of the 3 items. She chose a remover. It's regularly $19. She's getting it for $10. You add those up. You put the taxes. This is Alberta, so you only have to put GST or GST. No sales tax. If you live in other provinces, you have to put your sales tax. Put a $3 shipping and handling. That's going to look after your gas costs if you have to deliver. And if you don't have to deliver and she takes it home, still put the $3 on, because you're going to be running and doing some deliveries for her at some point. And so it just covers you. Just put that on. Otherwise, you're going to have problems with running your business, because you need to have this I just put a flat $3 on everybody's invoice. Okay, so the add it up, you write how she's going to pay for it, if she's going to pay for it with cash, and then you put paid on it. If she pays for it with check, let's say she paid some of it with cash and some of it with check, that's great. Just put cash, X number of dollars, like $90 cash, and then the rest was in a check. Let's say she wants to use credit card. You have to set this up with Mary Kay, and there are some costs involved with having credit card. What do they say with credit card, though? More people purchase on credit card than they do with check or cash. So if you want to set this up for your business, you're going to go onto the Mary Kay website, themarykay.ca, and you're going to look under the word ProPay, and you're just going to read that over, set it up, and then you'll be able to accept credit cards. If this was a credit card, then you have to check off, was it a Visa or MasterCard? So you're going to check off, let's say Visa. What do you have to put on here? You're going to write on, because you don't have a machine to put it through, so you're going to write this in, and then you're going to phone it in and tap it all in on the phone after when you get home. Or if you're there and you kind of don't know whether that's going to work or not, then you're going to go ahead and do it right while you're there. I do all mine when I get home. So you write in the numbers, so you got to make sure you write the numbers so you can read them, the expiry date. I also write whatever the little number, so if it's 168 on the back of the card, I just write that there too. So I put Visa, I've written her number in, I've got the expiry date, I've got the other number. She can sign it right here, so she can just initial that. So now that is a transaction, and you'll put that through on your ProPay account that you have to set up with Mary Kay. And that I'm not explaining that here. Okay, the other thing that's super important, and I talked about, if you want to have a successful business, when somebody purchases anything from you, write down number 1, number 2, number 3. These are your follow-up checkups. So let's say today is the 6th, and I'm going to check in a couple of days. I don't want to do my checks on weekends, and I do all my checking, if at all possible, through texting, and I just have text that, you just set up a text under your address and just write it out, and then all you have to do is repersonalize it each time. Okay, so why am I doing this? Why is this important? This is critical. This is a step that everybody doesn't do because they're scared of, oh, what might they say to me? Well, if you're not talking with them, you're going to get lots of product back, because this overcomes all the problems that most people end up having, because I think when they're with you, they're looking at your hair, your shoes, looking at how pretty the case is, looking at all the little things, and they're not listening to you. And so when you phone or when you text them on day number 1, and that's 2 days after, if you see them on a Friday, then it's going to be 3 days, because it's going to be the start of the week. So I do all my texting Monday through Friday. And so here, what am I saying here? I call it my beautiful checkup number 1. And why do I do that? Because this is where you find out that nobody listened to you when you told them that they had to put the cleanser on wet skin to activate it. And they're not doing that. They're just taking it out of the tube, shoving it on their face, rubbing it around, and then they're not washing it off with a face cloth. And they're going to say, well, my skin's kind of red. My skin's got little bumps on it. I think I'm allergic to this. You're going to stop all that right there and say, okay, Barb, and this is what I'm writing on the text, beautiful check number 1. Barb, tell me how you're using the skincare. And then she'll tell you, and not are you using it? You need to figure out, how is she using it? And so I couldn't even go as far to say, are you wetting your face? First of all, I want her to respond to me. And she's going to say, well, I've been having some problems. My face is really red. It's kind of sore. Now, 99% of the time, this isn't going to be the case, but you're going to get these. No, it's too much. 50% of the time they do what you say, and 50% they don't. And so the 50% that don't, you need to reteach them right here, right now. Barb, are you wetting your face before you put the cleanser on to activate it? Oh, no, I forgot to do that. Barb, Are you washing it off with a face cloth when you are using it at a sink? If you're using it in the shower, you can wash it off with the water in the shower. But if you are using it at a sink, you have to wash it off with a face cloth. Are you washing it off with a face cloth? No, I don't have any face cloths. Well, Barb, then we're going to have to use a paper towel then or something, because you got to wash it off. This is where you recorrect all the bad behaviors, because this is where they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And if you don't catch that, then they're not going to keep the set, because they're not going to have a problem with it. I find that almost anything that's a problem is because they haven't wet their face and they're not washing it off with a face cloth. I guarantee you, I'm pretty clear about that when they come to meet me, but they still seem to forget that when they get home. So that's what I'm checking. Okay, any other questions? How are you putting the CC cream on? With the fingers. Okay, you're blending it on your fingers. So I'm asking these little questions. And we'll maybe go back and forth a few times, like a little, tag back and forth, till I feel good about, yep, she's using it right. And if I get a feeling I need to pick up the phone and talk to her, I say, Barb, it's Gayleen. I mean, on the text, when she texts me back, she's got red. I usually pick up the phone and phone this number. That's why I want the number there. Because I'm going to text her, and I might even call her. Barb, when can I call you? I need to talk to you for 2 minutes. And she'll say, right now. Okay, I'll say, hi, Barb, it's Gayleen. So, Barb, tell me about how you're using the skincare. Well, what do you mean? Well, what are you doing first? Well, the cleanser. Tell me, how are you using that cleanser? Well, I just squeeze them on my hand, and then I rub it on my face. Oh, Barb, would it be okay if I give you some tips? Yeah. I think the reason your face is red is because you have to put the cleanser on wet skin to activate it. So when you take it out and just rub it on your skin, you're not actually activating it, and you're irritating it because you're not. It's too strong without, to activate it. You need the water in it. That's part of the solution. Oh, I forgot about that. Now, Barb, have you been washing it off with a face cloth? No. Oh, yeah, you absolutely. Unless you're taking 2 showers a day and doing your face in the shower twice a day, if you are washing it at a sink, it has to come off with a face cloth. Otherwise, there's going to be a residue on your skin, and it's going to cause that redness. So as soon as you start washing it off with a face cloth, that redness is going to go away. Oh, I forgot that. Yeah. Okay, now tell me about the moisturizer. How much are you using? Oh, it seems like it's pretty heavy. Barb, you got to cut back. Remember about the size of a chocolate chip. Right, I forgot that too. Okay, now the CC cream, have you been putting that on? Uh-huh. And how are you doing that? Well, I'm running it down my finger like you said, and then I blend it, and then I put it on my face, and then I make it go down. Perfect. Wonderful. You're doing exactly right. Great. So, do you think you'll be able to wet your face and start using a face cloth to make sure that you're activating the product and you're actually removing it from your skin? Because we don't want to walk around with cleanser on our face all day. Yeah, not a problem. Gee, I remember you talked about that. Okay, great. Now, Barb, I'm going to be doing my beautiful check number 2, and I'm going to be phoning you or texting you a week from today. So I'm going to be checking how you're making out with that cleanser. But, once you maybe do that for a couple days, could you just text me and say how it's going with that cleanser, just maybe before next week when I check? Sure. Okay, so can I count on you? What day can you text me? Wednesday. So if I don't hear from you on Wednesday, would it be okay if I just send you a quick text just to say how you're making out with that cleanser and see if we have any other questions? Perfect. And otherwise, I'm going to be checking. Beautiful check number 2 is next Monday. And I just got a few quick questions for you. And then beautiful check number 3 is going to be the Monday following that. Okay? Just so you know that I'm going to be checking base with you. And if I don't happen to hear back from you, I'm going to assume that everything's absolutely okie dokie and the product is working fabulous for you, okay? So I want to make sure that we get the results we're looking for. Now, I really went into detail with this because this right here is the critical component of you keeping your customers. This is where you lock them in for a lifetime. They know, number 1, you weren't just trying to sell them something and just pushing something off on them. They know, number 2, that you're a woman of your word because you said you were going to follow up, and you did. Number 3, through these beautiful checks, what happens on beautiful check number 2 pretty much every time is they start to notice a difference. And on beautiful check number 3, people are asking them what's different. New hair, new glasses, what's different? You look different. Something about... And then they're telling all their friends between week 2 and week 3 about this Mary Kay. this is when you want to book them. If they haven't booked an appointment at the first appointment, this is when to book them, because this is when they're getting all these compliments from everybody, and they're jazzed about their Mary Kay. Okay, the other thing is, when they were first with me, I set up a color appointment, a follow-up appointment, and so I write what day did I have that and at what time. And then I'm just going to find out, does she want to do this by herself or does she want to do this with friends? If she wants to do this with friends, then that activates a little bit more activity. If she wants to do it by herself, well, then she's got to come to me to meet me on my terms, at my place. I don't run around and do second color appointments. They have to come to me, and I squeeze them in, because you can do a color appointment in 20 minutes at your house, standing up at the kitchen sink. You never even have to sit down. Okay, so you got a really good training on how to do this. Now, there's 3 copies here. The first one is for the client when she, pardon me, it is not. The first one is for you, and you're going to put it in your client file. The second one is for her, and it's the customer one. She only receives this when it's paid in full. And the third one is, we're going to move that along in the system I'm going to teach you right now. And it's super simple, this system. Now, I don't think the new receipts have this 4th one. We used to have a 4th one that would be handy if we still had that, but we don't. I don't believe. Okay, so that should be pretty clear what you do with those. Whoa, sorry. All right, so now all's good. She's gone home. If she's bought something, we've got money. We put the money in a Ziploc bag or a pencil case, and we only touch the money when we go to put it in the bank. Or if it's ProPay, then you're going to have to read through how the ProPay works, and it's not complicated. So now we need to file these things, and I'm going to show you a filing system. And why do you want to file things? So that you know when they call you how to deal with things. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this. This was the customer profile. There's 2 copies. Why do you want to file this? Because every time she buys something from you, you want to take a copy of this receipt and make sure it gets filed. Okay, so you take the top fluffy copy off, and you're going to file that January through December. And I'm going to suggest you go to Michael's and get a box like this, one of those $2 boxes, and you can set these up sideways. If you have a old shoe box, you can do it in a shoe box. Mine were and I had one of those recipe boxes that were bigger, and I filed them all in the recipe box, because I'm using these cards here, these blank, I don't know what they're called, but there's 100 of them in the pack. So I did January through December around there, and then I did A through Z in them. And then I just set them up so then when I go to look for something, so this is somebody who came. Their birthday was on January 13th, so I just put that under the January tab. Barbara Starr's birthday's in April, so I would put this behind the April tab. Just the top copy. I ripped the top copy off. Now this is my birthday file. And what do I do with my birthday file? I just look once a month, about the 25th, and I look who's having a birthday, and I either send them a cute little text or a red stamp invitation type thing saying, it's your birthday month in January, happy birthday. As you're one of my preferred customers, you get 15% off your orders in January. What happens? They all order in January. That's great. That's what you want to do. So, and then when the next month comes, I do the same thing. And that's my birthday file. And I file it in this box. I put the A to Z first, and then I put the birthdays behind, because I only use this once a month. And so I send all my birthday texts off at the start of the month, but I just check how many I've got to do. So I just do it right at the end of the month. So then all the birthdays, let's say it's January. So at the end of January, I'm checking who's having a birthday. I get that all set up, organized, and then I just send it out. You can even just send out a text if you want, or an email, and put a picture of a birthday cake on it. Or you can mail them a birthday card, which I love to do. I send all my people a birthday card. And what's a birthday card look like? I don't go and buy a $4 birthday card. I'll go over to Michael's or the dollar store or somewhere, and I'll just get a bunch of birthday cards in a box. I would change it over. They're right over there. I've just got them. And then I just write their, that's why I need to know their address, because I want to send it in the mail. Only costs me a stamp. And I buy my stamps like this, a big roll of them at Costco. And then I've got it set up and I'm ready to go. It's not complicated. People love to be remembered on their birthday. As people age in life, people forget about them. And you know, you stand out. You want to stand out. And how do you stand out? Recognizing people, and that makes them super happy. Okay, so that's going to get filed in that box. Okay, so the back copy of this is going to become your A to Z file because her name's Barbara Starr. Where do you think you're going to file that? On an A to Z copy? By last name? Right, under the S's. So this copy is going to be gone. And then what you're dealing with is the hard copy here. And you want to take some pieces of paper, put 2 staples in them, like this. And this becomes like a little envelope. And I'll show you what you're going to deal with that. You're going to staple this Barbara Starr onto your little envelope. This is going to be ripped off because it's going under A to Z. I mean, January to December. Okay, now, this is all ready to be filed under her last name. What goes in here? When she purchases from you, you're going to take one of those copies, and I'm just going to grab one that's all ready to roll here. You're going to fold up her copy, your copy of the receipt once you've done moving it through your system, and you're just going to put it in this little envelope, or this folded paper. And so when this person phones, this person's Kelly Wright, when she phones and she says, I need a cleanser, but she doesn't tell me which one she wants, or she needs a CC cream and didn't tell me which one she wants, I just go and look at this up and I go, oh, yeah. And then I know she wants a normal to dry and a light CC cream. Looks professional. It's fabulous. Her name's Kelly Wright. I'm going to put her behind, I always put in behind, never in front of, the R's. Whoops, sorry. Okay, where's Barbara Starr going? Once we've got this put together, she's going to go, so I'm going to staple this, put this together long before her receipt's going to go in here. So this is going to go behind the S's. And then I've got my A to Z. I can't tell you how. I ran this system for years and years and years. A computer system came out, so I did the computer one. It was about $100 to set it up. It's set up only for Mary Kay. Why did I do that? Because I do a lot of mailings, and it was easy to just do all my labels by having it computerized. It also does all my math for me. But I ran this system for a long, long time. And why did I choose a box with a lid on it? Because if you ever turn this upside down and it falls out, it gets kind of messy. So I like to box with a lid. And so that's how I would set that up. Okay, so Barbara, what are we going to do here? We got some follow-up to do with her. And so she paid me in full, so let's take this copy. That went with her, okay? That went with her product. She took that home. That leaves me 2 copies left. I've got to remember, and here's what everybody thinks is so complicated, and they want to put it in their phones and do all this. Don't do that to yourself. Use an old-fashioned, simple, easy way. You know what? If your battery's dead, that's not an excuse. You know, people don't take kindly to just because your battery was dead, you didn't do what you said you were going to do. So what I suggest you do is you just leave this like this. I like to take mine and just use a 3-hole punch. I punch a hole in them when I get home. Now, I need to follow up with Barb Starr. What day do I need to follow up with her? On the 8th. So this is my 1 to 31. And I can't tell you, this is super simple. I never miss anything. And I just follow, and every day I look at it. Yeah, sure, it's a binder, and sure, you have to open it and look at it. You're running a business. If somebody said, this is what you could do, this complete little system that I'm explaining to you here right now could run a $100,000 business. Really? Go ask a store what they have to do to run a $100,000 business. Your mind would twirl around your eyes and go in circles like lollipops. Okay, so 1 to 31, day timer. I put my name and my address and how to contact me and a reward if it's lost. This, to me, is the lifeline to what I need to do. Okay, so I went to Staples and I bought these tabs, 1 through 31. Why is that? There's 31 days in the month. Am I going to work all 31 days? Well, maybe a little bit, maybe not. So let's do Barb Starr here. We've got 2 pieces of paper, and then we have, I don't think you've got the 4th piece. So first thing we do is we took this apart, we threw those apart. Now, we need to contact her on the 8th. So I go to the 8th on my 1 to 31. And I always go behind, not in front of. No, pardon me. Here I go. No, I don't. I go behind because that's how I am. I just, let's see. Okay, this is what I don't like about this. I have to change my thought pattern on it. Go in front, because then when you're looking at it, it is the 8th. If you put it behind, then it looks like it's the 9th, and that messes people up. Okay, so I'm taking one of these copies, and I'm going to put the green copy in my 1 to 31. On the 8th, I need to contact her on the 8th. This copy I can put and file on what day she is supposed to have her appointment, on March the 25th. So I'm going to put that in, or May the 25th. I'm going to put that in on May the 25th for her next appointment, because I'm going to be following up, but I also have an appointment with her. Am I writing that on a day timer? Yeah, I am, but I'm also putting it in my book. Okay, so here we go. On the 8th, I'm going to look on here and I'm going to go, oh, I got to send Barb a text. And so I do that, and when I'm done, I put a check mark. Then I just go ahead, open this up. When's the next contact for her? Well, she was having problems, so I said I want to contact her in a couple days. So today's the 8th. She's going to do it on the 9th, 10th. So I'm going to contact her on the 11th. Normally, it should have been on the 15th, but she was having a little issue with redness because she wasn't wetting her face or using a face cloth. So I'm going to put cleanser in here just to, why am I calling her? I'm calling her because of the cleanser. I'm going to text her on the 11th. Okay, I text her on the 11th. Everything's hunky-dory. Now I'm going to move this to the 15th. On the 15th, it goes in my little book. So I'm going to text her and I'm going to say, Barb, Gayleen, it's a beautiful check. How's everything going? How's your skin feeling? Oh, it's feeling, I'm really starting to notice it feeling a lot softer. Excellent. Everything going great? You're happy? Yes. Okay, check. Do you see, by doing that, she's happy on that call. I need to talk to her on the 22nd. Okay, so I move this to the 22nd. And then on the 22nd, I got to close the door here. On the 22nd, I'm going to contact her again. Now, I'm going to send her a text. But I also know that she wanted to get together, and she said that she was just going to get together by herself. If she had a friend or two coming that she wanted to bring, she'd bring them with on the 25th. So because she's coming by herself, I didn't have to do anything, and I just left her little, this is why this is here, because on the 25th she's coming at 5 o'clock. Okay, so I checked with her on the 22nd. Everything's fabulous. And yes, you know what? People were asking me, did I get my hair done or what's different? Something different about my skin. And you just smile to yourself, a great big huge smile, because absolutely what you told her was coming true. It builds strength and belief. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. You have built the know, like, and trust, and that you are take this serious and that you are going to look after her. She has no qualms about buying product from you anymore because you have gone and done everything you said you were going to do. Okay, so she's coming on the 25th, and we already have that in the book. So we have actually done everything we need to do there. She's happy. So I'm going to go find her little profile box that I set up, Star, Barbara Star, and I'm going to put, I'm going to put her little receipt in there. All right, so on the 25th, I'm going to know that she's coming to my house at 5. I also probably have that written in my day timer. Okay, so let's just do one more because we want to make sure we got the hang of this. So you're going to have more than one of these. You're going to have a whole bunch of systems. Now, if you're saying, I don't want to every day be checking with people, then you are going to make Mondays your checkup date. So you tell everybody on their receipt that, let's say you're going to be, your first number 1 check, number 2 check, and number 3 check is, and you say, I do my checkups on Monday. I do, and so I'll be checking with you on Monday. Now, if today's Tuesday and you don't check to next Monday, you will be sorry. So you want to always do this one in about 2 days, okay? 2 to 3 days. And then put her on the every Monday you do all your checkups. I always say do like things like. So if you're sending all, you would all have all these filed, all your checkups filed. Let's say the 12th was a Monday. So you would have a little file of Mondays, and you're doing the same thing with everybody. So like I said, you customize the first email, put their name on it, and then you do the follow-ups. It's so quick. It's so easy. What do you do this for? I have had clients that I've been in Mary Kay 27 years, so I have had clients that have been purchasing from me for 26 years based on, I used this system so they felt that I always knew what they wanted. So when they said, I need a new lip gloss, I knew that she wanted to have Fancy Nancy again. So that's what I sent her. Or, you know, they'll phone and say, I want that lipstick that I got from you. And you're going, that lipstick? Well, it's rubbed off the bottom of her tube, so she can't see anymore what that lipstick was. But because you had written in here that when she bought that was a rich truffle, then you look like the professional that you are. Okay? So I think you pretty much got the hang of that. So you would, if you're going to do all your checkups on, let's say Wednesday's your day, then you just make these all on Wednesday and then put them in the Wednesday, and you just do them all on Wednesday. You don't have to just do everybody, you know, so maybe some days you're not doing any checkups. Like maybe you're only doing checkups on 1 day a week. That's fine. There's no problem with that. It's just you have to do it. That's the catch. And if you don't do it, people just won't, you know what? They'll buy Mary Kay, you did all the work, and they will find somebody else to buy it from because they don't like your service. And that's on you, not them. Some people put them in a page protector and run them along. I don't. I just do it like this. But if you find that page protector, you like that better, you could put a page protector in there for the days that you are going to do all your checkups. I like to have them individual so I can write on them. And then I have to keep pulling them in and out, and I don't like doing that. So I would just soon put a group of them in and just do them all on the same day. Okay, if you had somebody who was coming to you for an appointment, you're going to be sending her the text the day before, the morning of, and saying, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing you at 5. The other thing that I do is anybody that's coming for an appointment, I like to have at the start of the week, so if she's coming on the 25th and I saw her on the 6th, that's a long time in my mind. I am doing my follow-up checkups, but I want to each time be reminding her that she's coming on the 25th. So I just keep saying, you know, I've selected a look for you, got some great colors. Oh, I got something in, I made a little bag for you. And I got a little something, I put a couple things in there because I think they'd be perfect for you. And what are those couple of things? Well, I'm going to find a couple of things to put in that bag for her. And so I just kind of say, you know, I can say, you know, I'm so thankful that, or grateful that you got back to me, or I really appreciate you getting back to me. I put a couple of extra things in the bag for you on your appointment on the 25th. Now let's say she decided she wanted to have a group of people come. So that requires a little bit more work. And so you're not going to just file her on the 25th. You're going to set up sort of a tandem when you're checking with her on how her product is. You're also going to be checking on her with her gathering of her friends that are coming. So if she says, I want to come on this date and I want to have a group of friends, so when you're doing these checkups, you're also going to be just doing a little checkup on, do you know the gals that are coming? Because I always like to talk to them before they, you know, send them a quick text about their skin. And I want to know, are they oily or are they not oily? So I know what kind of product that I'm going to be using, and you know, are they, what's their skin tone? Are they, you know, kind of very light, ghosty lights, or are they more kind of just beige, or do they tan a lot? Oh, you're Afro-American. Okay, great. Then I need to know that. So I just am checking, and once I've got her group list, I want to know those sorts of things. So I move this sheet along then, because it's a group thing. I move it along at the same time I'm moving her doing her follow-up checkups. I want to try and make everything super easy, but I also don't want anything to fall through the cracks. So I write it all on here. I use it in this follow-up book, 1 to 31, and nothing gets lost. I always look professional. Okay, I've got a couple extra tabs. Let's say, and we don't want this to be the norm. Let's say you had sold out of all your removers. So when she was at the appointment, she paid for it, but your remover wasn't coming in. You had an order, but it wasn't here yet. That means that you are going to have to deliver this to her. So you circle it. And then I take this sheet of paper and I put it back, or I write on, I make a sheet, what do I owe? So when my product order comes in, I know who I owe product to. And so I would write her name, Barb Star. I owe her a remover to deliver to her work, and then I put her address in. If it was direct shipping, if it was an out-of-town order, then I just send it right from the company to her. There are some expenses with shipping, so you need to pay attention to that. That's too much detail for right now. But you need to have a place where if you owe somebody something, that you have it written down, so when your box comes in a product, this is the first thing you do, is you look, who do you owe product to? Okay? And you could put that through like that and then just stick it in there. And if you don't have enough sheets of paper, then just write her name on something and just put it in the front of the book. What else do I have? If I have somebody who's a hostess, I want to keep a list of who's coming to her party. So I've just got a little sheet and I just write who's coming and have I talked to them. What kind of skin do they have? Skin tone. And then I just ask them a little bit. I ask my favorite questions, Hi, Sarah, so can I ask you a few questions about your skin? Yeah. Okay, so is your skin tend to be dry, normal, or are you sort of combination oily? Oh, I'm combination oily. Okay, great. Is skin tone, what would you say it is? What color? Kind of a really light, or are you somebody who tans? No, I like to tan. Okay. And do you have any blemishes? Or do you have breakout once a month? Any lines and wrinkles you'd like to have softened up? Any other questions about your skin that I should know? Anything, other things about your skin I should know? And I just keep little notes, and I just put, if whoever the person is, I just use this sheet and I say they're coming on the 25th, and I just keep track of stuff. Doesn't have to be very complicated. And if I meet people, I've given people a sample. I have called my sample, and I just put names of people that I meet. This lady gave me a business card, so I stick it in there, and I just follow up with these people. And, at some point, lots of them get together with me. So that's my 1 to 31. Thanks for sticking with me. But you know what? We just did your admin program for your business. So, and I did it slow enough that I think that everything makes sense. These are going to go in the box, A through wherever A went. I messed this up. But A goes in front, A to Z, and then your January to December. Everything's moving through the system, so you're doing your checkups. It is the checkups that meant people to you. And you know what? If you don't look after that and you choose not to do that, these people will go find somebody else to buy product from. They're not cemented to you. But once you've done all this with them, they're never going anywhere else. I mean, they'll find you. They make sure that they get their product from you. So that is how you do your bookkeeping, Mary Kay. Pretty simple. And you know what? If you have 10 customers, you still need to have a simple system like this, and you still need a little box to put all their information in. If you have 100 customers, you still need a system like this, and you still need a little box. You just move people through. Now, the thing we didn't talk about in Mary Kay is the reorders. So, initially, this takes time. After that, the phone is going to ring, or they're going to send you a text, or they're going to leave you a message, and you're going to come home and you're going to have orders for Kelly right needed to have a cleanser, a moisturizer, and a CC cream. That's an $87 order. All you did was pick up your telephone, listen to the order. You got out a sales receipt, rewrote what she needed, put the date on it, added it up, and now all you have to do is make sure she gets that product, and you get your payment for it. That takes you about 3 minutes to write this up, 2 minutes to go get it out of the box, put it in a bag, set it down, and you're going to make a decision. You don't have to run all over town the minute they order it. You can make all your deliveries on such and such a date. I'm usually out and about every day, so I just tell them I'm going to drop it off on their doorknob, and it's really easy to do. Or I say I'll put it in my mailbox if they're close by, depends where you live. I say your product to be in the mailbox with your name on the bag. Just pick it up from there. And if they're going to pay me by check, I say just put the check in an envelope. If they're going to pay me by cash, I say put the cash in the envelope, just put it in my mailbox when it switches out. Or if I'm coming to you, I'll get it out of your mailbox or out of the grocery bag that's tied to your front door, whatever. If they're paying me by credit card, then I've already got their number here on file, so I can just go through and pick that number off and just do the order and put it through in her credit card and just drop it off on her doorknob or at work or wherever. It's not complicated. So imagine, I sat down, set the system up once. I've had 27 years. I have people that have their file would be this thick from orders that they've had from me over the years. Of course, I would cull that out a little bit, but once you get the system, it's so easy. It's just so easy. Reorders. That you're getting paid over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for the time you spent with them the first time, explaining the hand, showing it on the back of the hand, letting them try it, and then making a decision if they want to purchase. Does everybody purchase the first time? No. The stats are that usually people need to 5 times before they're going to make a purchase to get a major purchase from you. So don't get strung out. Skip the expectation is that you do what you say you're going to do. That's the main thing. And just they'll do whatever they want to do. So I hope that helps you. This is a super simple system. And let me tell you, I can tell you for sure $100,000 businesses have been run under this system, because we didn't used to have all this technology 27 years ago, and we had some pretty thriving businesses with lots of consultants. So this system is tried, true, works, and you know, if technology isn't working that day, we're still working. We still got a simple system. I hope you found that, I hope that just lifted a burden right off you and you go, oh my gosh, this is it? This is it? This is all I need to do for book work? At the end of the month, you're going to fill out a form. Any receipts that you have, I've got, you see, receipts for the current month. And anything I've purchased for my business, I put all the receipts in this bag. And at the end of the month, that white copy, this is where it goes, because that becomes my income statement. So once I'm done with it, it goes in here. The green copy goes in the A to Z. The white copy goes in the bag. At the end of the month, I sit down and I can do all my books in about an hour. Oh, well, I can do my books in an hour, so you could do yours in a lot less than that. And what happens is then I've got this all ready for taxes. And one of the great things about Mary Kay is the tax benefits. And I could talk about it and talk about it, but until you experience it, you're not going to get it. So you want to make sure anything that you buy in Mary Kay for your business, you keep the receipt and put it in this bag. And don't want a receipt. You all want a receipt for everything that you do, because you can work that towards your business expenses. Okay, thanks. Have a great day. Bye.